Jai Hind class. Class, today we are going to discuss with the series of mathematics, that is a basic series of mathematics part 2. In part 2 today I am going to take the next topic, that is the area. So starting from the area of some two-D diagram, that is a two-dimensional diagram. So in that, so we are starting, the first part is that parallelogram. So students, before that let us discuss what is the parallelogram, and after that we will go for the area of the parallelogram. So in that case students, parallelogram is nothing but what? Of four sides, and opposite sides are parallel, opposite angles are congruent. Is that clear? So area, that is region bounded by four sides or surrounded by four sides, opposite sides are parallel and opposite angles are congruent. So in that case students, so let us discuss something. You can see in this figure number 1, and this one is your figure number 2. So in figure number 1 you can see a dotted line AE. So this line is what? AE, and there is a 1 of the sign. This sign indicates, that means what? It's a exact perpendicular. And what is the perpendicular? Perpendicular is nothing but indicates the height of the figure or height of the diagram. A perpendicular line indicates the height of the diagram or this figure, parallelogram ABCD. So this will work as a this word breadth, or you can say height also. So here AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to BC. Now what you have to do in the next step? So this one is your parallelogram ABCD. Over here this quadrilateral ABC and D is what? Parallelogram. Here, let us take this part, this dotted line AE, this triangle. Which triangle? We are talking about this triangle A, E and B. This triangle AEB. So let us shift this triangle on this side. On this side, okay. So when we are going to shift this triangle on this side, this part will be looks like a dotted, and it will be your E part. Yes, it will be your E part. It means what? If you see only these two part, the whole diagram will looks like this, and this part is, this figure is known as what? A rectangle. Is that clear? That means you can observe class, parallelogram and rectangle looks like a same. E is also 90 degree. It's already given that. Here you are getting again 90 degree. It means what? You are forming another image, that is a rectangle. So it means what? This area surrounded by A, D, E and E, this part as a B. So it is same as the parallelogram. That means the rectangle is formed from the parallelogram. So area of both the figure are equal. Here this, in this rectangle we are getting this AE as a breadth, and here this part will looks like as a length. So in this case, that means they have a equal area. It means what? The length into breadth is the area of the rectangle. So here it will be same length into breadth. But students, in the parallelogram we are not going to take length. Length will be considered as a base, that is this part. This part will be considered as a base, and this part will be considered as a breadth, that is a height. Here we will take the height. But the meaning of this thing, base into height and length into breadth, is the same. In terms of the rectangle it is length into breadth, but in terms of the parallelogram it is what? Base into height. Area of this parallelogram is what? Base into height. So let us solve, students, some application, some problems based on the area of the parallelogram. See over here you can say the question number 1. You can see the question number 1. Area of parallelogram is 29.6 square centimeter. Base is 8 centimeter. So let's rewrite this data in terms of the area. Area is given that class. It is what? 29.6 square centimeter. Always area in terms of the square. And base is given by, that is small letter B you can say, and it is given by 8 centimeter. We need to find out height. Height in terms of, we can write a small letter h, and that we need to find out. So we can write area of parallelogram equals to base into height. So area is given that 29.6. So class, what will the value of h or height? So on this side you can see right hand side 8, we need to find out only h, so we'll take 8 on this side. So h equals to 29.6 divided by 8. So h equals to, you can get over here 8 3s are 3.7. So divided by 8 you are getting 3.7, and it will be in terms of the centimeter. So only thing is that just you have to put the formula, substitute their value and calculate it, you will get the height of the parallelogram. So basic formula is that area of the parallelogram equals to base into height. This is the area of the parallelogram. So let us solve one more sum based on this. So in this class, students, we have a 3 unknown values. So first is that, first we have a area, second one part is the height, and the third one part is what? Base. So we have a 3 part, and let us see the relation between this, that we know we need to have a area equals to base into height of the parallelogram. So area equals to base into height of parallelogram equals to, so area we can write in terms of the formula base into height. So again area is given that 83.2, which is equals to base. Base is not given, we need to find out, and h is given that 6.4 centimeter. So students, b equals to 83.2 divided by 6.4. So b equals to, now how will calculate this part? Make it 832 divided by 64, because here you have a before one digit decimal point, before one digit decimal point. You can directly remove this decimal point here. So this will become 8 8 ja 64, and this become 104. So you have a 104 divided by 8, and this one is the basic calculation, students. You can do it easily, only you need to the division part, nothing else, and here you are getting 13 centimeter is the base of 13 centimeter is the base of the parallelogram. So all the things is given, that formula you have, substitute their value, calculation part, you are getting your answer. That's the area of the parallelogram only. Come to the next figure. Next figure is what? Area of rhombus. Now what is the rhombus? Let us see over. You can see this part is your rhombus part, and rhombus is what? All sides are equal. These all sides are equal over here, you can say. And again it is the types of the parallelogram, one of the type of parallelogram. So students, square, rhombus and rectangle, these are the types of the parallelogram. So they follow the same property, opposite sides are parallel, opposite angles are equal or congruent. So in rhombus, to find out the area of a rhombus, so let us draw their image or their diagonals. Suppose this was the vertices of the rhombus A, B, C and D. These are the vertices. So let us draw their vertices in terms of the, by using dotted lines. Join them, their vertices. Now these AC and BD, you can see over here, this AC and BD, these are known as the diagonals. So we can say D1 as a diagonal 1 is AC, and D2 as a diagonal D as BD. So students, when diagonals intersect at a point, suppose this point is your point E. This point, they intersect always in terms of the perpendicular. The diagonals of a rhombus intersect always perpendicular and bisect them. Bisect means what? They intersect and they divide each other in equal part. That is the bisect. It means what? For example, the length of AE, I am talking about this part, the length of AE is same as the length of EC, will be 4. Suppose this length is what? 3. This again, this length will be also a 3. That means this angle is what? 90 degree. So by using their diagonal bisection at a 90 degree, we can find out the sides of the rhombus. So that means what? If I take this part as a AED, you can see students, AED. This AED is a triangle, looks like a right angle triangle. AED is triangle, looks like a right angle triangle. You can see over here. Let me see this part. This AED, A, E and D. This looks like a right angle triangle. You can see over here. Let me draw by using a black ink. So this, you can see this part. This part, students, looks like a right angle triangle. It means what? This will follow the property of Pythagoras theorem. If this length is 4, I have taken over here 4 and this 3. This will follow the property of Pythagoras theorem to find out the sides of the rhombus. So sides of the rhombus over here, given the side of rhombus, if we can find out the length of AD, how will we find out the length of AD? We know that this angle is what, 90 degree, and this triangle is what, right angle triangle, and obviously this will follow the property of Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem indicates that this side opposite to 90 degree will be used as a hypotenuse. Maybe you have done Pythagoras theorem, so let me remind. So we can write a AD square, the hypotenuse square, equal to uh, sum of square of other two side. So other two side is what, A square and ED. This Pythagoras is used to find out the length of the other third side. Here two side we have, we need to find out the third side in right angle triangle only. So AE is given that by 4 square, we will put over here 4 square, and ED is given by the 3 square. So that's the 16 plus 9, which is equals to 25. So AD square equals to 25. It means what, this number will be what, 5. 5 square 25. That's why we can put as a AD equal to 5. So this is the way to find out the length of sides of the rhombus. When diagonal is given, that, see, diagonal 4 and 3 is what, they are the length of the bisection part of the diagonals. So 4 and 3 are the parts of the diagonal 1, diagonal 2. So using the diagonals we can find out the length of the rhombus. So in general, suppose you are going to add all this, how many triangles are there? You have a 1, 2, 3 and 4. You are going to add all the areas of this triangle. Triangle area is what, half into base into height. When you are going to put over there, adding them, you will get the 1 by 2 product of length of the diagonals. So that will get the area of the rhombus. Student, no need to define, no need to find out any other term. So only try to learn this formula, and basically what is that, we are going to add the area of all these parts. So basically you are getting the 1 into half into length of the diagonal d1 into d2. This is not, I am talking not about the bisection part, I am talking about the full length, d1 into d2. Is that clear? d1 into d2. So you can derive by using, add these triangles 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You will get the half into d1 into d2. So class, let us solve some questions based on this. Length of diagonals of a rhombus are 16.5 centimeter, 14.2 centimeter. Find its area. So we'll find out the area of, so we need to find out length of diagonals of a rhombus. Length of diagonals of a rhombus are given that d1 and d2. So let us consider as d1 equals to 16.5 centimeter and d2 equals to 14.2 centimeter. We need to find out the area. So area is given by half into d1 multiplied by d2. So class, half into 16.5 multiplied by 14.2. So multiply by, cancel out them, 7.1. 2 7 are 14, 2 1 are 2. So you are getting 16.5 multiplied by 7.1 equal to 15. So 116.15. We have to write square centimeter. Area, always the unit should be what, square centimeter. Keep in mind the unit, this square, and it should be the for the area. So it should be the in square centimeter. Here we have to use the part sides of the rhombus. It is given that perimeter is given. What is the perimeter? Perimeter is what, nothing but sum of all sides. So rhombus, obviously it's a quadrilateral, it's the type of the parallelogram. So we have a 4 sides, and 4 sides sum is given that 100 centimeter. And length of one diagonal is given that A, B, C and D part is given that, suppose this length is given that, one diagonal is given that, in one diagonal, what is the length of this diagonal is what, 48 centimeter. So let us assume over here AC equals to 48 centimeter. And we know that this diagonal AD and BD bisect each other at a 90 degree. So the length, let us consider this part as E, and this length will become what? 48 half is what? 24, and this will become also what? 24. This is this part here. These are the angle of 90 degree. Is that clear? Now to find out the area of quadrilateral, we need to have a length of both the diagonals, class. Here this one is, this is what? Length of first diagonal, but what about diagonal 2? It means what? Once we have a value of this part, we have to make it 2 times, that will get the full diagonal. That means what? BD equals to BE plus ED. Yes or no? This is what? Our diagonal 2. This is our diagonal 2. So for that we need to have a BE or ED. So student, this is what? 24. But one more thing is given, that it's perimeter. Perimeter equals to 100 centimeter. That means perimeter is what? How many sides are there? 4. 4 into side equals to what? 100 centimeter. So what is the side of rhombus is what? 100 divided by 4. Now side equals to what? 25. That means one side equals to 25. Which side? All side equals to 25 centimeter. 25, 25, 25. That means what? Now we have a one this triangle. You can assume any one triangle, students, you can take. Let me take this triangle AED. In triangle AED, we need to find out value of this ED part. Once we have a ED, we have to add them. ED and BE same because they have a equal length. This length is equal to this, and this length is equal to this part. Is that clear? So class, once we have a this part side, we now we know the perimeter. From the perimeter we have found the side of this rhombus. Now we need to find out the length of ED. Once we have a ED, we will make it 2 times, that will give the length of BD, second diagonal. The second diagonal, which is same as what we have written over here, BD, and BD is equal to BE plus ED. So this triangle you can see over here in triangle AED. Let me put over this triangle on this here, E and D. So you could say this is the side of the rhombus and this is the length of one diagonal, 24. So students, obviously AD will work as a hypotenuse square. So AD square, by using the Pythagoras theorem, AD square is the sum of other two square, AE square plus ED square. So AD square is given that 25 square, A is what? 24 square plus ED square. So that means what? 625 equal to, this is the 576 plus ED. You can make the square of these 24 and so 100 students, 625, take all numbers one side, 576 equals to ED square. This become minus, on this side become minus. We are getting exactly over here 49 equals to ED square. So students, some number square equals to 49, and what will that number is what? Which number square is 49? 7 multiplied by 7. It means what? ED square equals to 7 multiplied by 7. This implies that ED equals to 7 centimeter. So ED is what? Our 7 centimeter. Now we have got this value, ED equals to 7 centimeter. Now class, most important part is that ED equals to 7 centimeter and BE will be also equals to 7 centimeter. Can you tell me the BD? BD equals to, we know that BE plus ED is equals to 7 plus 7. Therefore BD equals to the 14 centimeter length of the diagonal 2. Now we have a length both the diagonals. D1 is given that 48, sorry, D1 is 48 and D2 is what? 14. So what is the area of rhombus? 336 square centimeter. This one is the area of rhombus. So student, basically what was given here is the use of the Pythagoras theorem in rhombus. So once maybe side is given, that one diagonal is given, that first you need to find out the second diagonal using the side, using the perimeter. Perimeter is nothing but sides. Sum of all sides equals to perimeter of all images. Any image is there, if all sides you are going to add them, you are getting the its perimeter. So that's the relation between the perimeter and the diagonals using the Pythagoras theorem, and this is the application of Pythagoras theorem to find out the sides of the rhombus. The next is what, student? The area of trapezium. What is the trapezium? As we know that area of trapezium, let me explain you little bit part. Area of trapezium is what? Half into sum of length of parallel sides. Two sides are parallel and there is a height and its multiplication. You can see in this image, student, let me explain it by using this image. In this image, AB is parallel to DC. This is the parallel side. This side is what? Parallel to DC. And AD, I told you angle sides make angle of 90 degree. They are perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular nothing but it indicates the height of the figure. Here in this figure ABCD, AD will be what height? This is the height, and these two sides are these two AB and DC are parallel to each other. So here AD will be what height. The area of this trapezium, that's you know the trapezium, that means what? Two types of the trapezium. Isosceles trapezium is also there. I will tell you what is that. In isosceles trapezium, student, AD, the length of AD will be same as length of BC. That is the isosceles trapezium. So, but here it is not given that the AD is the length of BC. Only thing is given the height and base, height and their parallel sides. So, they obviously you can see in this image ABCD, two sides are parallel. AB is parallel to DC and this height is given that H. This height is given that H. So we need to find out the area of trapezium. The area of trapezium is what? Sum of parallel side. What is the parallel side? AB and DC. We have to put sum. Sum means addition. That is AB plus DC into height. Height is what? AD. Multiply by AD. So these two addition into H. So what is the basically in this diagram? Suppose we will take question number 1. ABCD length of AB is 13. This part is given that 13 centimeter. DC is given that 9 centimeter and AD is also given this part. H is what? 8 centimeter. All the things is given that when you need to put the formula. So what is the area of quadrilateral ABCD? This is the area of this quadrilateral ABCD. The quadrilateral is the type of the trapezium. Trapezium you understood. Up two sides are parallel, opposite sides are parallel, and there should be a height. So we'll put sum into height, sum into multiply 1 by 2 into sum of parallel sides, sum of parallel side into height. So here parallel side is given that 13, so we have to put 1 by 2 multiply by 13 plus 9 multiply by height is given that 8. So students, whatever inside the brackets, first let us calculate that part. So this becomes 22 multiplied by 8. So you are getting over here 88 square centimeter.